Hello folks, this is Aitanaja from inspiredrise.com and today we are going to talk about the GeForce RTX 3060 GPU and we had the Gigabyte Gaming OC 12G. So guys, let's first start with the unboxing for this card. This is the official box. At the top there are other details written about the card. For example, that it comes with a Windforce design. There are 3 fans on the card and 12 GB of GDDR6 memory. Inside the box you don't get too much stuff except from the card, just the card, and there are no other documentation, nothing. If we talk about the build and design, I like the overall metallic finish and the kind of materials that Gigabyte has particularly used here are really good. And there is also a separate 2-fan edition for this card, which would be slightly cheaper, I guess. The 3-fan edition does have better cooling and comes with the Windforce design, and at the back also you will see that there is the screen cooling present, which allows the heat dissipation to be better. So that's something that I really like. The back metal plate also is particularly good. There is the 8-pin connector, and apart from that, overall the size of this card is okay for an ATX form factor. There are 2 HDMI ports and 2 display ports. And if I talk about our test bench now, so our test bench consisted of an AMD Ryzen 7 3700X CPU. We had 16 GB of DDR4 RAM. The motherboard that we used was the B550 Aorus Pro motherboard, and everything was running properly. As you might have seen in our intro shot, our whole system was really open, and that allowed for better cooling for the GPU. And now let's talk about the GPU in more detail. It comes with a core clock of 1837 MHz, while the reference design is 1777 MHz. We get 3584 CUDA cores, 12 GB of GDDR6 memory. The memory bus is definitely smaller in size compared to the last generation. It's 192 bits. You get 360 GB per second memory bandwidth. The card bus is the PCI Express 4. Maximum resolution supported is 8K at 60 Hz. You would require at least a 550 watt PSU in order to run this card. Compared to the previous generation, there are substantial gains in ray tracing as well as overall performance, but there's an increase in the total power draw. If we talk about something like the NVIDIA Reflex low latency, it allows you to have even better latency while gaming. And let's take a look at all of the benchmarks. The benchmarks do suggest that this card is neck to neck with the 2060 Super, and in a lot of other benchmarks and synthetic loads, it does shine above the 2060 Super. But still, if you're somebody who still has a 2060 Super, I would suggest you not to buy this particular card. And if you're somebody who's going to game a lot, in some modern games you will see that this card performs better than the 2060 Super. And now let's talk about the gameplay and FPS. We love Counter-Strike Global Offensive, so we started off with Counter-Strike Global Offensive and played it for quite a long time. The frame rates were pretty decent and good enough, and you can see on the top left corner that it ranged from anything from 170 to almost 300 FPS. And then we ran a benchmark as well. All of the settings were at maximum possible settings, as you can see. And when we ran the benchmark after playing for at least 10 to 15 minutes, we got an average frame rate of 297.15, which is really respectable. And then we played Fortnite on this one with real-time ray tracing enabled and with the performance mode enabled. So Fortnite ray tracing is still in beta, and we got really decent FPS with that one. And here DLSS was also enabled, so that allowed us to have really good FPS, hovering around 260 FPS average. And for somebody who loves Dota, you would find that we got around 120 to 130 FPS on 1080p and maximum possible settings. Apart from all of that, ray tracing performance has definitely increased with the DLSS modules this time around at 1080p. So anybody who's going to buy it for 1080p and ray tracing performance, they will find that easily 1080p 60 FPS plus gaming is possible with ray tracing enabled this time around with the RTX 3060. And anybody who's upgrading from 1060 or 2060, not the 2060 Super, anybody who's upgrading from an older GPU, they will find that the RTX 3060 does provide enough value. The whole thing boils down to the pricing. The Indian pricing is around 35,000 plus for this particular card variant, and a lot of other OEMs might ship their cards around 33 to 35,000 rupees. This card might be in the range of 35 to 40,000 rupees, and at such a price, it becomes slightly difficult sometimes to recommend this card. But when we look at the overall value proposition and the kind of performance that it does offer, the pricing is okay. And you can also look at other brands for more different choices. This time around, the Gigabyte version does offer better cooling, and in a lot of ways it does feel a little bit more premium. You can even customize the RGB lighting on the logo, and there are a lot of n number of other options as well here. So guys, at the end of the day, it's your choice. In case you're building a new PC rig, the RTX 3060 does seem to be a solid GPU to go along with it. And for everybody who's concerned about the fact that you might not be able to buy this GPU because of miners holding it in huge number of stocks, yes, you are right. Miners might make the whole proposition very difficult for any serious gamer who might want to buy this GPU. So guys, this was it for this video. In case you like this one, don't forget to smash the thumbs up button and do subscribe to Inspire to Rise for more awesome tech videos like this one. And guys, no matter what you do, stay inspired to rise.